The last one, part three. I forgot to mention, what I did forget to mention is diabetes. So I talked about how they can help with cancer, and I talked about how they can help with obesity, but I didn't talk about diabetes. And I'm also going to throw another one in here that's really, really extremely important and helpful, because I'm going to talk about how it helps with addiction. Okay, addiction. Now, with your blood sugar, it stabilizes your blood sugar. So wild herbs, most wild herbs, remember I said how all these different superfoods and herbs usually have the same benefits when you go and do your research on them. You're going to hear antioxidant a lot. You're going to hear stabilizing blood sugar a lot. You're going to hear great source of vitamins and minerals. You're going to hear boosts its immune system, and so on and so on. You're going to hear some of the same benefits, because these things that I just said pretty much address everything. You're going to hear adaptogens, if I didn't say that already. All these things address everything, and then all of these foods address everything. Okay, they are to sustain you. So you're going to keep hearing that. So with that said, I did want to talk about, as far as your diabetes go, why is this important? Why is this an important video and a helpful video? Because the wild herbs, generally, most of them stabilize your blood sugar. So that's going to help people with diabetes, pre-diabetes, and it's just going to help you not get diabetes. All right. So with that, and then also blood sugar. I mean, not blood pressure. Okay. Blood pressure is another prevalent one. Want to stabilize your blood pressure. All right. So this is just the adaptogenic components of herbs and wild edibles and fruits and vegetables. Is, anything that happens, anything that's in balance in your body, is going to stabilize it. It's going to adapt and stabilize. It's going to get you where you need to be in order to be in homeostasis at a neutral level. Okay. Now, also addiction. Now, how does it fight addiction? What I think is I believe that when you eat certain plant foods and herbs and wild foods, right? These are feel-good foods, and I think it more so has to do with the receptors in your brain. Like what a lot of addictions have to do with is your brain receptors, and how your brain is responding to certain stimuli, as far as the drugs and different chemicals that are in the drugs. And when your body is craving or starts to need those particular chemicals, then certain receptors are triggered in the brain. Okay, and now you start to crave whatever you need, be it whatever it is. Okay, and so I think what it is it either, I think a lot of herbs may block these different receptors, which doesn't make you prone to addiction as much, and or they set off certain receptors. They mimic certain chemical and different responses in your brain to create somewhat of that same effect. So therefore, you don't need what you thought you need as much, or you may just not need it at all. All right. And so it can help you with addiction. So if you're trying to kick things, it's real hard. If there's certain things you would like to kick, and I know it may be hard, these things can help you. Okay, with a little willpower, these things can help you. All right. I like, for example, and I think with me personally, I just never really had that much of an addictive personality, so I could try different things and do different things for a set amount of time and then just walk away from it. But I know that's not so easy for other people, so I think about a few times. Let's think about like most people with marijuana. Most people don't get addicted to marijuana. I mean, most people, but things like cigarettes, man. There's a lot of people who could try a cigarette one time, or just smoke a cigarette a few times, and then they can't walk away from them, or they catch hell trying to walk away from them. I thank the Most High that the couple times in my life, mainly when I was really younger, I tried cigarettes, and I just thank God it never took hold, of me. Even with marijuana and things like that, I might have my little stints where I, try some marijuana for a few weeks or whatever, do it here and there for a few weeks or something like that, then always could just walk away from it. And I never just really just became out there with marijuana and things like that. And even to this day, I love to drink red wine, but when I can't have my wine, I can't have it. I don't go into withdrawal or anything like that. So that's another thing, guys. Like, it helps. I believe it has a lot to do with my diet. Okay, so there's always different variables. Okay, like people do different things, but at the same, people do a lot of the same things. It's not necessarily supposed to be that healthy for you, but how things affect you, there are always other variables. Okay, so it's always other variables. So a person who may smoke, they may be one person may be extremely healthy and they smoke, another person may be extremely sick and they smoke. But what's the difference now? What's the variables outside of smoking, though? Okay, what else are these people partaking in? What other habits? Okay, what other lifestyle decisions people are making? And those are the other variables that determine how things, like how, what the outcome of things. All right. So, guys, with that said, hopefully that was helpful. That addresses some really, really, really important things I said, and prevalent things. Like, so we addressed diabetes, how it can help with that by stabilizing blood sugar. We talked about high blood pressure or low blood pressure, whatever, how to stabilize your blood pressure. That's big, right? We talked about nutrient deficiency. So that's big. We talked about keeping you satiated and fulfilled and keeping you nurtured with the proper nutrients and the proper amounts. Therefore, no overeating. Therefore, not becoming obese. Um, yeah, and then just adaptogenic qualities that balances out other things. All right. So, and then we just talk about addiction, okay, and the neurotransmitters and the different stimuli that goes on in the brain that makes addiction more and more likely, okay, and harder to kick. All right, guys. Hopefully this was a helpful video. This will be the last one in this series for now. It won't be the last time I talk about herbs altogether. Now I'm probably going to start getting more into specific herbs as well. All right, guys. So, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. All right.